Hi, I'm Pastor Steve, and I want to talk to you for a minute about religious groups, i.e., churches or other religious groups that can behave in a fashion that is harmful. Now, in common discourse, we use the word cult. It is entirely within the realm of possibility that any given religious organization can drift in the direction of becoming a cult. And it is very, very important for us to understand the warning signs that may be happening. Now, I have taken this out of a book I used once upon a time when I was teaching religion in America by Julia Mitchell Corbett, called Religion in America. Now, she advocates that we don't use the word cult, by the way, because social scientists and ministers and various people toss that word around and without really bothering to define it. In this case, I'm using the word cult to describe specifically religious groups that act in a harmful fashion. Now, signs, and as you listen to these signs, I think you can think about groups that you have known, groups that you have come into contact with, groups that you have friends or neighbors that belong to, and you can see how common this problem is in the American religious world at this time. So these are the signs that a religious organization could be a cult. First of all, a sense of exclusivity and isolation. The group likes to see itself as cut off from the rest of the world. And that leads to a strong sense of either or thinking and us versus them thinking, where the preacher gets up and says, well, we're the good folks and they are the bad folks. And that us versus them mentality is part of is a signpost on the pathway to becoming a cult. And then we come into the desire of leadership to control the lives of the members. Suggestions about how you should dress, how you should appear, control over what kind of information members have access to. Don't watch this channel on TV, don't do this, don't do that. A lot of instructions that are rigorously controlling the lives of the members. Groups that sexually abuse, whether they be adults or children, critical warning, critical red light. It is completely unacceptable and completely out of the picture to have leaders sexually abusing students or followers in any institution at all, whether it be work, boss versus employee, or whether it be in an academic situation, teacher-student, or whether it be in a church situation, minister-member. That is a critical warning sign of manipulation and control that is a warning sign that the group can be becoming cult-like. The encouragement of violence, encouraging violence against the enemies of the group, another critical major red light. And that would include language that encourages violence. If the language encourages violence against the enemies of the group, it's probably not a very good sign. Groups in which problems are not discussed or resolved openly, when there's an issue that's going on in the body of the group, a solution may be imposed, but transparency is not encouraged. Human groups function with a lot of confusion and a lot of mix-ups and a lot of misunderstandings. The solution to those is transparency. Very simply, never be afraid of the truth. As Jesus said, you shall know the truth, and the truth will set you free. Groups where followers are made to feel bad about themselves. This has happened a lot in Christian organizations where doctrines of sinfulness and forgiveness are magnified, and the preacher puts people down by declaiming and exclaiming about how rotten and sinful they are. None of us need that. We all need groups that help us feel better about ourselves and better about our neighbors. And so trying to stay away from that negative undertone. Groups that appear to be primarily interested in acquiring wealth and power for the group itself. The agenda of the group becomes, let's make money for ourselves. Now, we all need to get paid. We all need to earn a living, but that doesn't need to be the sum, source, and substance of our mission. And that's an important thing to remember. Leaders who claim a level of infallibility or make decisions based on divine knowledge. This is a big one, and as a minister, I have encountered this dilemma in interactions occasionally with other ministers, but basically it works like this. If I say that I'm getting my directions from God, how can you argue with that? How can you check that? How can you balance that? We're all in the same situation, and none of us has any special guaranteed free access to the Almighty. We're not in touch immediately with God. Doesn't tell me what to do. And if a leader, rather than, say, solving problems in a transparent and open fashion, simply says, well, God told me this or that, that's not a very good sign either. Leaders who fail to practice what they preach. This is a big one in the life of the church. Leaders who mandate laws of purity and abstention, and you should do this and you should do that, but they're not doing it themselves. Bad sign. You need to practice what you preach. If you're giving that message to a group of people, you better be ready to live it out. And then another one is groups that make it hard to leave. You see this a lot. An individual decides they want to get out. They don't want to be part of this cult-like group anymore. They want to go. And the group makes it hard. They kind of close the doors of exit. If you leave, you'll burn in hell. If you leave, you'll be invoking the anger of God, the curses upon those who want to leave. Well, in healthy organizations, people have to leave for all kinds of reasons. You don't need to stick a bunch of conditions and conditionalities upon that. If they want to leave, they need to leave. It's like telling somebody they can't go to the bathroom, for goodness sake. If they need to leave, they gotta go. Let it be what it is. And then finally, leaders who lie. Leaders who lie to their followers, leaders who lie to the general public. Again, you shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. So try to seek religious organizations that, or any organization, it could this pertains a great deal to the world of politics, etc. Don't put up with leaders who are liars. It's a really, really bad sign. Even though the leader may say, well, yes, I lied, but I lied for the greater good of the cause to which we're going, the ends do not justify the means. You cannot do whatever you want in order to get to this objective. So that's just a short little teaching, but something that I feel is very important for all of us to keep in mind and to remember. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.